one of the tasks that data analysts do is bring data together from different data sets. And that is achieved by joining tables together. The first type of join we're going to look at is called inner join. So if you look at the Venn diagram, table A and table B have something in common. And that common data element will be used as a key to join these two tables together. The syntax for the inner join can be in an implicit way or an explicit. Implicit is basically when you're using the inner join keyword. So let's take an example of the first syntax. Select from table A inner join table B on, and then we list the keys from both the table that we want to join on. That's kind of an implicit way of saying it. We can also use, instead of on, we can use the using keyword and just list the key that is common between those two tables. Explicit ways where you say from table A, comma table B, where A dot column equals B dot column. So that's just a different flavor in which you can get the same results. You can open the data model from the file itself. Click the ER diagram icon to open the model. When joining tables, it's really important to know what the data model looks like. Right, so let's say if we want to join country and city, we want to know which column the relationship between these two tables are built on. So what column in country table and what column in the city table the two tables can be joined on. So it's going to be select country and city column from city table, inner join country table, using country ID as the column that is common between both those tables, where country is equal to United States. So whenever you're trying to join the tables, you need to look at the data model, right? So what data model will give us the relationship of how tables are joined together. So let's switch to the tab where we open the data model. So we're looking at the country and the city table. And if you can see, we have country ID common between those two tables. So that means that we can use the country ID column in our join condition. So we have used the country ID column as the joining column between city and country table. And we are also using the keyword inner join. And what that means is we want to bring back only those records where the country ID has same data between those two tables, and we want to filter where the country is United States. So what this SQL will return is the list of all the cities in United States. You're given the task to find the list of films where the language is not English. So we're going to go back to our data model. So film and language table are joined on language ID. So let's go back to our SQL. So we're going to select title and name from film, inner join language table using language ID, where name not in English. So we want to bring back all the films where the language in which the film was made is not English. And we don't have any records right now in the database that satisfy this condition. We can modify this script to bring back films that were made in English by taking the not out, just having the name in English. Now let's say if we have a scenario where we want to generate the list of customers which live in Barcelona. So let's go back here. it'll be a three-table join: customer, address, and city. Let's look at our SQL. So we are selecting a bunch of columns from these tables from customer inner join address using the address ID. So if you look, this is how the customer and address are joined on address ID. And then we're joining address inner join to the city table on city ID here. So they are joining on the city ID column. So this will be our joins for three tables where city equals Barcelona. So you see the column city, to get to that, we had to go from customer to address to city to relate all this data together. Now, if we run this, we should get all the customers living in the city of Barcelona. So we have one customer that lives in Barcelona. So this is a very powerful join statement. And as you can see, you have joined three tables on these common data elements. So let's say you want to bring back customers that live in Barcelona and during their rental period, they have paid more than $5 in rental cost. So you'll be joining the payment table with the customer table. So if you go back here, so there is a customer ID that joins the customer and the payment table right here. So you're joining, so the rest are the same. We already did this join, so we are just adding another payment table. And then we have an amount greater than 5. So let's run this. So if you see, we are getting records for the same customer. So where he has two transactions where the amount was greater than 5. So it's giving you a transaction history for the customer living in Barcelona where the payment amounts are greater than 5. The second type of join is called left join. So left join brings all the data from table A along with the data that matches between A and B. The syntax for left join is select from, and we use the keyword left join. So table A left join table B using the common key fields between those two tables. So we want to get the list of staff members and indicate which one are managers, but the list should also give you staff members who are not managers as well. So for that, we will be using a left join. We need to insert these two records so we have enough data to make this example work. So if you come back to the model, we have staff and store table linked by the staff ID. The table store has those staff IDs that are managers. And then of course we have the relationship on store ID as well. So we will be joining the staff table and the store table with a left join. That means that it's going to bring all the records that are in the staff table along with the ones that are in store. And we're going to join on staff ID equals manager staff ID. So this should give us all the records in the staff table along with those staff members that are managers as well. So if you see, first name, last name is coming from the staff table. So we have 4 staff members right now in our database. Manager staff ID is coming from the store table, and only Mike and John are managers. So for Johnny and Jimmy, there's no record in the store table. That's why we have null, means no data. So this way you can see that left joins are useful for certain scenarios. So where we want to bring all the data from one table and link it with the records that are matching between the two tables as well. Alright, another variation of left join is left outer join, meaning that I just want to get the records in table A which are not present in table B. So what you can do is that you can do select from table A left join table B using the key that is common between the table where table B's keys equal null. So if you pick this last option where table B's key, which means this table, equals null, you will get all the records in table A. So let's say if you want to get the list of staff members who are not managers, we'll do a left outer join. And the way we achieve that is we join staff to store with keyword using left join on staff ID equal manager staff ID. We are using the on keyword in our join condition so the column names in the two tables are not spelled the same way. So till here it's exactly the same as a left join, but when we add the where clause, the staff ID from the store table is null, then it only returns those records from staff table and not the ones that are matching between those two tables. So if you compare this with the other left join, this is only bringing those staff members that are not manager. Great. Third type of join is a right join. Basically, it's the reverse of the left join, and syntax would be select from table A right join table B using the common keys. It brings all the data from table B and links the records between table A and B. We also have right outer join, which is the opposite of left outer join. So select from table A right join table B using the common keys where. Now in the previous one, when we had left outer join, we were using table B's key as null, but in this one we will use table A key as null. So it's just the reverse of left outer join. For the right join and the right outer join, I don't have any lab exercises for you, but that's something that you can try to practice on your own using the Sakila sample database. Fourth type of join is called cross join. Is basically trying to join two tables that don't have an apparent relationship. And this type of join is also called Cartesian product. One of the things you have to be careful about is that you can do cross join between two tables if the number of records in both the tables are pretty small. I'm talking about 5 to 10 records and maybe 20 records or so. And they're normally code values with some description. So it's like if you have a specific use case where you have to create some sort of a mapping, a code mapping between two tables, then you can use cross join. The syntax for this is select the list of columns from table A cross join table B. So it's going to show one value of table A being repeated for each value in table B. That's why the number of records get multiplied by the number of rows you have in table B and A. So let's look at an example of a cross join. So we'll create two tables. One t-shirt underscore color, the other t-shirt underscore size. So one has number of colors and the other has the number of sizes that a t-shirt can have. So we'll just run. Let's look at what data we have in t-shirt color table. So in the t-shirt we have two records, one is black and one is white. Let's look at the t-shirt size table. So we have four sizes, small, medium, large, and XL. So now, if we want to find out the maximum number of combinations between the color and the t-shirt size, we can join the t-shirt color table with the t-shirt size table and do a cross join. It's going to give us the maximum possible combinations that are possible between the colors we have and the sizes. Great, so with black, you can have four sizes, small, medium, large Excel, and with white you can have four sizes as well. Fifth type of join is a self-join. You have to create an alias of a table. So let's say if the table is A, you have to create an alias A1 and A2 to join the table together. Self-join normally are rare, but there are some use cases in which you have to use a self-join. For instance, if you have an employee table and there's a column in which you have a manager ID, that manager ID is pointing back to the employee ID column in the employee table. So the same table has an inherent relationship within the table itself. So let's go to an example and see how this can work in practice. So let's say we want to get a list of managers and their direct reports. So for this example, we have to create a table called employee manager. So just go ahead, create a table. Let's insert a number of records here. Great, so we have 6 employees and their full name and the manager ID. So for example, employee 1, Matthew, is being managed by Grace. And Grace is being managed by Alice. And there's a relationship between the table itself. So let's take a look at this self-join SQL. So let's take it piece by piece. So we have created an alias for the employee underscore manager table E1. We're doing a right join employee underscore manager E2. So you're doing a right join between E1 and E2 on employee ID. Think of E1 as the manager list and think of E2 as the employee list. And we are selecting E2 employee full name, which means we want all the employees to be listed. We're just giving a label as employee. So all this statement is doing here is that if null, meaning that if the manager value is null, meaning the employee does not have a manager, we label it with no manager. And this is just a label to give the column. So if we run this, so you'll see we get all the list of employees and their corresponding manager. So if you look at the last row, Alice Cooper does not have a manager. So let's look at just the employee table again. Alice Cooper, the manager ID is null. So when we run this, it found null and it replaced it with no manager value, which we give here. So self-joins are rare, but it's good to have a knowledge about them.